today's video, we're going over my favorite return to running and sprinting drills to use with your patients after major lower extremity injury. Let's go! Race! Race! What's up guys, this is Dan Pope from Fitness Pain Free. I'm a physical therapist and a coach. We've helped to make thousands of incredible clinicians through our online courses, mentoring programs, and communities. The goal of today's video is to make you 1% better. All right, so return to run programs are extremely important for patients after a major injury, let's say ACL reconstruction. We have to learn how to very slowly introduce things like jogging, work towards acceleration, sprinting, all that good stuff, right? In today's video, I'm going to go over my favorite ways to introduce running and progress so your patients can safely return to sport. Step one, before we introduce any sort of running, we want to make sure we have a quiet knee. And what that means is that you have full range of motion at the knee, both in extension as well as flexion. We also want to make sure that there's minimal to no swelling and minimal to no pain or during our general strength training exercises, but also during our plyometrics. When we start introducing our plyometrics and our running exercises, we want to make sure we don't go backwards in terms of pain or also in terms of swelling or losing range of motion. That's a sign that you're going too fast. Before we begin our return to running program, we also want to make sure your patient has adequate LSI or limb symmetry index. Basically, we want to be around 70 to 80% strength from the involved side to the uninvolved side, and that's going to be both the quad as well as a hamstring. So step one is going to be the introduction of very basic plyometric exercises. I already did a full video on this, so check the link in the description if you want to check that out. It usually consists of about 2 weeks of basic exercises like some pogo jumps, nice and light. Want to show me these? Excellent, looks phenomenal. And after we have a baseline of about 2 weeks, we want to make sure the patient's knee is not getting more stiff, more painful, more swollen. We can advance to a return to run program. And when I say return to run, it's really a return to jog program. And usually what I have my patients do 2 to 3 days per week for about 15 minutes. We do a 30-second jog. In terms of how fast you go, think about a long, slow run, 30 seconds of that, followed by 30 seconds of a walk, right? And if the first week goes really well, the second week we do 40 seconds of a jog, 20 seconds of a walk, loop that for 15 minutes. Third week, we're doing 50 of a jog, 10 walk, and the fourth week, we should be running for 15 minutes straight, no pain, making sure we're not getting more swollen, more stiff after these runs. All right, so about 2 weeks into your return to jog program, I like to include a few exercises to prepare athletes for acceleration and top end sprinting. The trouble with acceleration and top end sprinting is that if we have your athlete go straight to it too quickly, you can cause an injury, right? So we need a few exercises to help bridge that gap. And one of my favorites for acceleration is just going to be a heavier sled push. The reason why heavier is because it makes your athlete move a little bit more slowly, so it mimics all those strength exercises that they've already been doing, but it works the same position and mechanics that you need for acceleration. So from here, Jacob, let's have you straighten out those arms. Go ahead and give this a good old push. You can see how we're in that acceleration position, but this is probably a little bit safer than going out there and running full speed early on. Next drill I like is a wall acceleration drill. This is a great opportunity to break down your athlete's technique for a simple drill before you're trying to fix it when they're accelerating, all right? So essentially, let's have you go up against the wall here, right? Leaning forward on an angle here. Want to make sure that we're on the balls of our feet so there's a little bit of space underneath the heels. And from here, just going to bring your knee up. Very good. One of the things I'm looking for is a straight line from the shoulder down to the heel here. And I also want to make sure that my shin in the front is going to be even with my shin in the back, right? So they're going to be here and parallel. So what I'm going to do as a first drill is just go slowly and switch from one side to the next. Good. And basically, I just want to make sure the athlete's in the right position. Dorsiflex on this ankle, good angle here, good angle here. Let's go ahead and switch again. Once your athlete has mastered this, we can go faster, right? So next one, when I snap, I just want you to switch legs. You ready? And then switch, 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 take a breather. Next one, what we'll try is going to be 3 switches, right? So essentially, we're gonna have Jacob start with his knee up. When I say go, he's gonna go switch, 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 and then hold, right? And when he holds, another good opportunity to work on the technique and correct anything, right? So let's go ahead and try that out, Jacob. Knee up, toe up, and then go ahead and switch. 1, 2, 3, good, and switch. And switch. Great job, take a breather. Once your athlete has mastered that, you can even go continuously. And I recommend not going too long. You might pick 3 to 5 seconds. Your athlete's just pumping, 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 pumping. And this looks a little bit like acceleration, but I believe the forces are going to be a little bit lower than actually just sprinting full force on the turf, right? So let's try this out. Jacob, let's go against the wall. When I say go, I'm going to have you just pump out your knees here, and we're going to go for about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, pause. Good stuff. I also like fast feet drills and fast high knees. So essentially we're going from low speeds to higher speeds. An easy way to do this is still not too stressful in your patient's fresh post-op knee or whatever it is. It's gonna be a fast feed drill, right? So essentially, we're gonna have Jacob stand up nice and tall, lean forward slightly, pump those elbows, take nice fast steps. Yep, making his way. Let's go for another 2 or 3 steps, take a breather, and then walk right back to the start. If this is being tolerated really well, we can start to bring the knees a little bit higher. You don't have to go full high knees, but just start going a little higher with those knees, Jacob, all right? Good. Yep, looking good to me. And go ahead and walk back. Generally speaking, the higher you get your knees, the harder it's gonna be on your patient's knee, ankle, foot, whatever it is they just had surgery on. Let's do one more, full high knees for me, Jacob. Excellent. Good, take a breather.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt, but I've got something cool. It's an evidence-based exercise selection cheat sheet after ACL reconstruction. Sometimes it's a little bit scary working with patients after ACL reconstruction. Obviously, you don't want to hurt them, and the exercises that we choose matter. So I created a cheat sheet to help you out. It goes over which movements have the most strain on the ACL graft and to dose those exercises from low to high. We use the evidence to guide us so you can make the right decision for your patient after ACL reconstruction. We'll also tackle that age-old question of whether or not you should be using open kinetic chain knee extensions with your patients early on after ACL reconstruction. This cheat sheet is 100% free. I'll leave a link in the show notes in the description below. Go ahead and click on that and get to learn it. Now, back to your video.
I'm also a really big fan of A, B, and C drills in order to work your top end sprinting mechanics. Just as like with acceleration, when we're trying to work on our top end sprinting mechanics, if you have a fresh post-op patient that's just starting plyometrics, we can't go sprint with them, right? We have to prepare them for sprinting. And what these A, B, and C drills do is we work on our top end sprinting mechanics with a little less force than top end sprinting. It ends up being a really good drill to bridge that gap for the athletes there. So, the A skip, we'll first go over the skip, and we'll go over the run. The intent of the A is to have your knee up and your toe up. So when we're sprinting, getting the knee up and the toe up is gonna make you a little more powerful, a little bit more efficient. For the B, we're focusing on pushing down and back. So as we run, we're trying to push the ground away from us backwards to propel us forwards. So the intent of the B skip and the B run is to try to push down and back. For the C, we're trying to recycle the leg more efficiently. So if I'm running like this with my leg completely long, it's not efficient at all. So when I'm running, I actually want to bend my knee and bring my leg through. This shortens the moment arm, so it's just easier to pull my leg through, right? So the A is going to work on knee up, toe up. B is going to be pushing down and back, and C is focusing on recycling that leg behind you. All right? All right, so let's go over the A, the B, and the C skip. One done appropriately, these should look very similar. It's just the intent and the cueing is going to change with your athlete. So first is going to A skip. I'm going to be nice and tall, and then from here, knee up, toe up, knee up, toe up. One of the cues I like to give my athletes is stay nice and tall. Pretend like you're in a room with a low ceiling, and if you go up and down, you're going to hit your head. So we're staying tall, but we're not bouncing up and down very much, okay? For the B, we're focusing on pushing down and back, right? So remember this action here. So again, skip, down and back, 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 down and back. You'll also notice I'm really trying to use my elbows because if we can pump the arms a little bit more, it's gonna help us run a little bit faster. Last one is the C. So when the leg goes behind us, we have to recycle this leg, bring the heel to the butt, so we can bring the leg through a little more easily. All right, so the C is gonna look just like the others. Again, the intent changes. I'm trying to draw my heel up to the butt. We can also do run variations of the A, the B, the C. The mechanics are the same, except we're not skipping anymore. So the A is essentially knee up, toe up, and we're taking steps just like so. Looks a lot like a fast high knee. The B, same idea, the intent is pushing down and back. So starting here. Yep. Lastly, we have the C. The intent for the C is, again, pulling that heel to the butt. So here, and done. And after you've laid this big old foundation of different drills, you're finally ready to start accelerating and doing your top end sprinting. I like to introduce acceleration through fall runs. They're exactly what they sound like. You have your athlete stand up nice and tall, leaning forward until they're about to fall, and they basically accelerate and sprint. Here's the thing, we don't start at 100%. I usually have my athletes start around 50%, and every week or so we advance that. Let's say 50, 60, 70, 80, so on and so forth, until they're about 100%, right? So let's demonstrate this, Jacob. Stand up nice and tall, leaning forward until you're about to fall, and go ahead and accelerate for me. Awesome, great work. And Jacob's not going super fast. It's important that you don't at first with your patients. We always say return to plyos, right? Which means that we should be working on power. And yes, we should, but there's a large period of time where we're building tolerance before we actually start to work up those top end speeds. Another way we can advance our acceleration drills is by starting in a half kneeling position. So essentially Jacob's in half kneeling, he takes his lead foot and brings it back a little bit, leans forward until he's about to fall over, and go ahead and start sprinting there, Jacob. Very good. So that just makes it a little more challenging from the get-go, but also reinforces good mechanics. So essentially we want to start low and work our way up a little bit more upright as we pick up speed. Building on the same idea, we can also do an acceleration start starting on your stomach. So essentially Jacob starts as low as he can get. From here he pops up and starts sprinting. Go ahead, Jacob. Good job. All right, so to work towards top end sprinting, we can do build-up runs. You can either do this on a self-propelled treadmill like this, or you can just go outside and use the good old ground, right? And essentially what we're doing is we're building up to a percentage of your max. Let's say we start at 50 to 60% of whatever Jacob feels is his max run. We maintain that for somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds, and we break down afterwards. Just like with those false starts, acceleration drills, we start 50, 60% and go up 70, 80, 90, 100%, so on and so forth. Jacob, let's show the viewers one of these. So let's have you start nice and slow, build up for over 3 to 5 seconds. Try to hit your top speed, let's say around 70%, and let's maintain that. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then breaking down. Good job. Yep. Now if you work your way up, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%, you're running at full speed, congratulations. All right, you have an idea of how to return to run with your patients. You also should know a little bit about plyometrics. Plyometrics is a great way to prepare your athletes to run, and a great way to build power. I have a video for you. I'm gonna leave a link in the corner. Go ahead and click on that. I go over my favorite plyometric progressions for your patients after they've had a major injury. Click on that link, I'll see you there.